Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community, and 7 questions with Emmy.
How are you? I'm Nate. This is Emmy.
Hi, Nate. How are you?
I'm great. Erica's here. Mom's on the side too. Hello.
Mom's making sure everything is as it should be.
Yes.
Emmy, how old are you?
I'm 8. I'm about to turn 9.
Are you married?
No.
Oh, okay. So if you're 8, are you in the 3rd grade?
Yes.
Yes, very cool. I always know that because when I hosted Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader, everybody was about 10 years old. So that's how I figure that out.
We will have an Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grade? A couple questions.
Oh, no. I see, because when I did the show, they would give me a card with the answers on it. I would not have done well on that show.
You don't have a card with the answers on it today.
I'm going to start crying.
Should we get started with the interview?
Sure, let's go.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to 7 Questions with Emmy. Today I'm talking with one of the funniest comedians in the world, Jeff Foxworthy. Known for his You Might Be a Redneck one-liners, Jeff was also the host of Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader? And has written several best-selling books. He has a new special coming to Netflix called Jeff Foxworthy, The Good Old Days. Jeff, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here, Emmy. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Question number 1. How did you get your start as a comedian?
It was actually on a dare. I was working at IBM and I used to carry a tool bag and I would fix machines. And a bunch of people that I worked with used to go to the comedy club that was in Atlanta, and they would come back and they would say, Jeff, you're funnier than these people. You need to do this. And they entered me in a contest, not like an amateur night, like a contest for comedians. And so I wrote about 5 minutes of material about my family, and I went down and my first time on stage, I won the contest. And I was a nervous wreck, but I knew that I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. And so I quit my job and became a comedian.
Is it hard to make people laugh?
Yes, it is hard. Well, because you don't know them, and so you don't have shared experiences, like when you don't know the same people. And so for me, I'm always thinking, what do we have in common? Even though we may live in different places or be different ages, what do people have in common? And so the writing is the hard part, to come up with things to talk about. The performing it, I never really think about. People always say, do you practice in front of a mirror? It's like, no, I never practice, but I work really hard to make sure it's well written.
What has been your most embarrassing moment on stage?
Okay, so when I do a concert, I usually am on stage for like 90 minutes, like an hour and a half. And so one night I'm on stage, there's about 5,000 people there. And I get down to the very end of the show, and Emmy, I look down and my pants are all the way unzipped, not just a little bit, all the way, like gapped open. And I looked at a lady in the front row. I said, have my pants been unzipped the whole show? And she started laughing and said, yes. And I said, well, I'm not going to zip them up now then. And I did the last few minutes and left. Everybody was laughing. So, but nobody told me. They let me stand out there and do the whole show like that.
Well, it's a good thing you're a comedian, so it's supposed to be funny.
It was a good thing because everybody was laughing at it. If I had been a singer, it would have been very embarrassing.
Or something else, like a dancer.
Oh, that would not be good either. Yeah, but that was a pretty embarrassing moment for me.
Tell me about your new special, please.
Okay, so it's called The Good Old Days. And so as people get older, like technology changes and society changes, and so they find themselves living in a world they don't understand. Like my mom is old and she doesn't understand how to text and all. And so they always say, oh, I like things better in the good old days. And so when COVID hit, I thought, well, here's a big piece of time where I'm not going to be able to go on stage. And so I went and wrote about how things were when I was growing up as opposed to the way they are now. And the fun thing about it is it makes two different generations laugh. It makes people that are my age laugh because when I talk about the way it was then, and then when I talk about the way it is now, it makes younger people laugh, which as a comedian, that's what you're trying to do, is just make everybody laugh,
What was it like hosting Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Okay, so when they invited me to do that, Mark Burnett, who produced the show, he called me up and he said, do you have any interest in hosting a game show? And I was really enjoying doing stand-up. And I said, no, I don't think so. I said, what's it about? And he said, well, it's adults taking an elementary school quiz for the chance at winning $1 million. And I started laughing. I said, that is such a great idea. Yes, I would be interested in that. And I loved doing it. I did it for 6 years. The only sad thing, it's probably like a real teacher, was every year that we would do it, I got very close to the kids on the show, because you're seeing them every day at work and everything. And then at the end of the year, they would go on to the 6th grade and I would have to tell them bye. And it would always make me sad. But I love working with the kids. I loved how the kids knew the answers when adults that were doctors and lawyers and astronauts didn't know the answers. And it was a show that it was, because you hear so much in the world about bad kids. And I love the fact that it shined a light. It was a positive story about kids and how smart kids are.
I want to see if you're smarter than a 5th grader. So I'm going to ask you this question.
Oh, no.
It's in my grade. So I know this one. So what is the biggest planet in the solar system? Do you want me to do multiple choice? Do you want me to tell you the choices? Or do you think you got it on your own?
I think I'm between two. Like I know Mars is really little. I know Earth is not the biggest. I'm between Saturn and Jupiter. I know Saturn has rings around it. Is it Jupiter?
Yes, it is.
I was thinking it might be Saturn, but yes. I am as smart as a 5th grader. Yes.
I don't know. You might be as smart as a 3rd grader. I'm not a 5th grader yet.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, but at least you got it right.
Yes, exactly. I'm so happy. And I think I probably remembered that from that show. So, something paid off.
We're going to send you a prize.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well,
we'll send you a 7 questions t-shirt.
Awesome. I'm so excited about this. I can't believe I got it right, because you know what I would do, like sometimes on the show, because I would have the answers in my hand. And so sometimes I would pretend like I was playing the game and I wouldn't look at the answers to see how far I would get, but I never would have won the whole thing. There was always stuff I did not know.
We were watching, I've never seen the show before, so we were watching it the other day and I really like it.
Did you like it? It's fun, yeah. And the kids are always smarter than the grown-ups too.
Yeah, well, sometimes the kids get it wrong.
Yeah, well, everybody gets it wrong sometimes, but they get it right more than the adults did.
You could have used one of your cheats, but you got it right on your own.
Yeah, I didn't even use a cheat. I'm very excited. I can't believe I got it right.
What do you like to do when you're not working or telling jokes?
When I'm not working or telling jokes, well, I have a 1-year-old grandson, and so I love to take care of him. My wife and I just took care of him for the whole weekend while his parents went to a wedding, and I have a farm. And so when I'm not working, I'm usually on my farm on a tractor or a bulldozer or whatever. I love to do stuff like that on a farm. Have you ever ridden a tractor?
Never.
Really? I bet you could do it. I bet you would be good at it, but I like doing a tractor a lot. We farm about 400 acres on my farm. So
now it's time for some bonus questions. Are you ready, Jeff?
Now you've got me nervous. Okay, I think I'm ready.
Have you been to Idaho and tried our famous potatoes?
Yes, I have been to Idaho many times, actually. And I didn't know before I went that how pretty Idaho is. Idaho is beautiful. And I love potatoes and I love French fries. And out of all of the potatoes that I've ever eaten in my life, Idaho potatoes are my favorite potatoes.
I'm gonna say it's not that pretty in the winter right now.
Is it not? Do you have snow?
Yes, a lot of snow.
We have no snow. It never snows here. I'm in Atlanta. If we get an inch of snow, we're out of school for like a week.
That's just crazy.
But I bet it's really pretty in the summertime, isn't it?
Yes, but hot.
Is it hot?
Yep.
So what do you like to do when you're not going to school or doing interviewing people?
Well, my friend, she had her birthday. So after this, I'm going to go to her house and we're going to make snow cones because she got a snow cone machine for her birthday.
Oh, my word. I wish I was there. We used to do a flavor called rainbow. And you would put like a little bit, when you put the syrup on it, you would put a little bit of all the colors on it. And if you did it right, it looked just like a rainbow.
That's pretty cool.
Yes,
we'll send you a snow cone in the mail too.
No, don't send me a snow cone because it'll melt when it gets here.
Okay, this one, you're going to have to try hard. Okay. This one, can you tell me a joke and make me laugh?
And make you laugh. All right. Why did the ghost not go to the dance?
Why?
Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
That's funny.
He didn't have anybody to go with.
You're a good joke teller.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a joke, but it's a little inappropriate.
Oh, that's okay. I think I've been in comedy clubs for over 30 years. I bet I can handle it.
Why was the toilet paper afraid to cross the road?
Why was the toilet paper afraid to cross the road? I don't know.
Because of the crack.
Okay, as my friend Larry the Cable Guy would say, that's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there now. That's funny in me.
What advice do you have for me?
To do an interview show?
Well, I don't know, like a host of a game show or something.
Well, you have to be a good listener, which you are. You have to be funny, which you are. I think you would do great at that. But, and I tell everybody that thinks about going into show business, you can't, it's a hard business. And sometimes your window of opportunity to do it doesn't last. So you need something else. So do really well in school, pay attention in school, get good grades. And that way, if it doesn't work out in show business, you can go do something else.
Like, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Like, Are You Smarter?
They could remake that show and I could be the host of it.
They could. I think you would be a great host of it.
You know what? You could be one of the guests on it.
I would be a guest. You could be the host. And if I didn't know the answer, you could whisper it to me. How about that?
Yeah. Or you could cheat.
We'd use our cheats.
I would just look at the other paper and then whisper it to you.
There you go. And then I would win all the money. And then we would go out after the show and buy like 1,000 snow cones. And
yeah. Thank you so much for talking with me today, Jack.
Oh, I loved it, Emmy. You're so good at this.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And don't get too cold. Thank you.
Did anybody ever win $1 million?
Twice somebody did. The first person that won $1 million was a teacher. And she said, before she gave the answer, she said, if I win, I'm going to give $500,000 to the Georgia School for the Deaf and $500,000 to the Georgia School for the Blind.
Wow.
And she got it right, and she did it. She gave all the money away.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, that was pretty
Awesome.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
Was she a fifth grader teacher?
She taught, I think she taught fourth grade, but it was so funny because they would, from time to time, they would say, oh, this lady's really smart, or this guy's really smart. He might win the money. And it wasn't like they weren't trying to give it away. But, I thought that was pretty cool out of, people. We had astronauts, we had Nobel Prize winners, but the person that won the thing was a teacher.
Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community, and 7 questions with Emmy.